It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and I'm doing a little mini series and releasing the videos every now and again on beers that are 44 years old. I picked up these beers from a flea market. This is my fourth old beer of the day, but I've left the best, what I hope is the best until last. This is a boxed bottle of Watneys beer that's 44 years old. Let's take a look at it. By appointment to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who's now sadly passed away as of a couple of years ago. Was it a couple of years ago? I think 2 years ago now. Watneys London Limited, London, Royal Celebration Ale. The beer with a rich nutty flavour, which has been brewed especially to commemorate the marriage of the Prince of Wales, and the Lady Diana Spencer, Wednesday, 29th of July 1981. Brewed and bottled in Great Britain for Watneys Brewery, London, SW14 7ET. Here's the thing for you. Put that postcode into Google Maps. SW14 7ET. See what comes up. See what comes up. I wonder what it is right now. It might be a Barrett estate, or it might be a Persimmon housing estate, or you can imagine somebody's house sitting there and old brewery Watneys was there once in a lifetime. 275 milliliter bottle then. This is looking rather nice actually. It's looking rather spiffing. Look at this. Whoa. I haven't cleaned the bottle. There's the inside of the box. It cost me £3 to buy. I probably bought about 40 of these old beers from a flea market in Cardiff. I'll tell you all about that later on in the review. But look at this, we've actually got a lovely foil neck. It's been in a cardboard box. There's no ABV on the beer whatsoever. And I'm just wondering if there's a possibility here that we have some carbonation, that we have some life in the beer. There's no ABV, alcohol by volume, on the bottle, because back in the early 80s, you didn't have to. It wasn't law back then. Here we go. Should we see if we got a Watneys? No, it's just a silver cap there. But we'll wrap it back up a little bit. Try and keep it relatively tidy. Here we go. Oh, look at the colour. Is there any life whatsoever? Yes, look at that. Look at that, there's small amounts of carbonation. Look, the beer's carbonated, there we go. Isn't that wonderful? Don't you find that fantastic that a beer that's 44 years old can have any kind of carbonation whatsoever? That's the alcohol. The alcohol's preserved the liquid. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? So these 4 beers for fun. I reviewed a strong Skol Lager from 1977. I reviewed an Usher's beer. I reviewed an Ind Coupe beer, and now I'm reviewing a Watneys celebration ale. I'm going to stick them in. I'm going to stick them in Untapped. I don't use Untapped anymore, really, but I did notice I put that in for fun, and there are people who have actually registered this beer on Untapped. So I'll put the other 4 beers on Untapped as well. See if anybody else in the world has put that old Skull beer or the old Usher's beer or the old Indcoop beer on Untapped. Let's get the aroma then. It's dark, kind of nutty looking, mahogany looking beer aroma. It smells very similar to the other 4 beers, really, in that it smells really old. It smells like a really dusty old library that's maybe got some woodworm and it's slightly rotten floorboards in it. When you walk into a damp house and you smell that kind of, that rot, that wetness, like, you know, does that make sense? Like wet wallpaper. It's interesting enough. It's slightly weird. Maybe a bit nutty, maybe a little bit biscuity, maybe a little bit malty. And then it's got this like aerosol aroma to it. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, more or less exactly the same. It must, if there's anybody out there who's got like a degree in brewing, like from Harriet Watt, if you are watching, or if you ever get a chance to watch this video, beer must go through a process. When it gets really old, it must just go through the same process as any other beer out there. So I reviewed 2 strong lagers and I've reviewed 2 ales, and they've all gone that same kind of like oxidized dark brown colour, and they all have this kind of like slight kind of, well, not slight, quite a lot of musty kind of flavours coming through. But there is some toffee malt in this. I'm not going to drink the whole thing. I have drunk some of these old beers in the past, and you're never to be too far away from a toilet when you're drinking these old beers. They will give you the trots. They really will. But it's very funny. I've drank some of the beer. I won't be drinking the rest of it. But I just want to say, so Usher's, I just reviewed an Usher's beer, Usher's of Trowbridge. That brewery was going since 1824. It was bought in the 1970s, I believe, by Watneys. Watneys come along and bought Usher's. And then Watneys sold out. And it's now eventually, after a lot more buyouts, become Punch Taverns. So Punch Taverns own the rights to Watneys beers, Usher's beers. And these breweries, they were huge back in the day. Huge. Going around London, you'll still see Watneys signs above pub doors. Going around Trowbridge in the south of the country, you'll still see Usher's signs above pub doors. The big Usher's shield, you'll still see it. So I hope you liked the video. I've shown you a 44-year-old beer. Whether it's of any interest to you is another thing. But thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.